5-minute St. Louis real estate market update for January 2020. Happy New Year, by the way. I'm Dennis Norman, one of the broker owners at More Realtors, and if you'll give me a few minutes of your time, I'll bring you up to date on what's happening in the St. Louis real estate market. Before I get started, though, I want to remind you we are not just the source for St. Louis home prices, sales, and market data. We're also one of St. Louis's premier real estate companies with some of St. Louis's best and most professional agents. In fact, our agents have to be masters of real estate to be in our firm. Also, I want to offer you St. Louis's best real estate search app. Yes, even better than Zillow. Check it out. Why is it better than Zillow? Well, it has a map and features that come up and show you the houses around you and gives you all the information straight from the MLS. Things very comparable to what Zillow does. However, there's a few added features. This is tied into our site at St. Louis Real Estate Search. Also, it is updated as frequently as our site, which is every 5 minutes, and I'm not aware of a real estate site in the world, including Zillow, that gets the listing information from the St. Louis area MLS and updates the information any more frequently than every 5 minutes. Plus, we'll only show you listings that are still active in your search results. So if you're searching for a home to buy, you won't find houses that are already under contract that just waste your time. So go to stlhomesearchapp.com, stlhomesearchapp.com, and check it out. It's available for the iPhone as well as the Android. Now let's get started. The first chart I'm going to show you and the data I'm going to talk about is for the St. Louis metro area as a whole, so all 17 counties that go on both sides of the Mississippi River that make up the St. Louis MSA. This is the only data I'm going to give for the whole metro area. After this, we'll zoom in a little bit. But this is a 25-month chart that shows home prices, the median home price of homes sold, as well as sales, the pink line sales, over the, like I said, the past 25 months. And I've just highlighted the data from December of each one. So we're doing the January report. So since December sales are complete and final, that's what it shows. And you can just see there that last month for December, median sales price was $197. A year ago, it was $183. So quite a bump from a year ago. And then prior to that, in December 17, it was $179. And you can see actually the sales this past December, last month, 2,352 homes sold. That's a pretty good bump from a year ago. In fact, I don't know, 13, 14% or whatever, and is even higher than the year before that too. So 2019 ended on a very good note for the metro area. Now, and let me also show you this too. You can see what's a little different here. I just added some arrows. You can see all the way to the right. What's interesting is from November to December, sales started going up, as did prices. Now, we always have all this seasonality. That's why these charts always go up and down. I mean, home sales and prices down in the winter, up in the spring. It kind of follows the same pattern all the time. But if you go back a year ago, you'll see at this time of year, it was still going down, as was the year before. So not only did we end on an upbeat note, hopefully, if that continues into 2020 as we go forward in this year, it'll maybe just be indicative of a little better start for the year too, which would be great. So let's move on now. Now I'm going to zoom into the St. Louis core market, which is the 5-county area we call the core. It's the city of St. Louis County, St. Charles County, Jefferson County, and Franklin County. So these 5 counties make up the overwhelming bulk of all the real estate activity in the St. Louis area on the Missouri side of the river. And so this here, this is a chart we produce. Matter of fact, all the data you're seeing here, all the charts are coming from proprietary software that More Realtors has created. We understand the importance of our agents having the best and most accurate data, and also in a way that's easy for them to use to help their clients, and also we need a way to present it and illustrate it to clients that makes it very easy for them to really get a good understanding of the market, whether they're a buyer, seller, or an investor. So we've developed this proprietary software. Everything I'm showing you here, you're not going to see these charts and these tables and things like this anywhere else. The data all comes straight from the regional MLS, the Realtor MLS for the area, so it's the best data going. So this is one example, these year-to-date home sales. Now, it just so happens, since we're talking about year to date through December. It's also for the year, but you'll see this for the past 5 years, and I put a red line there too so you can kind of see the peak. So basically the home sales for last year ended at 27,127. So even though we had that uptick at the end of December, it was still down a little bit from the year, but it really changed the trend though, because if you've been watching this report every month, the difference in the prior year has been bigger than this. And so from 2019, 2018, it was just a tad under 1% less, which is not that bad. You can see the peak was a couple of years ago at 27,784, and but over this 4-year period, though, if we go back 4 years, there's been a 8.3% increase. So pretty good stuff there. Now this chart is going to show for that same area the median price per foot and days on market. So price per foot's a good way to look at home prices overall, and how long it took to sell. And we can see some trends here. I put the red vertical line up that just shows a year ago, so you can kind of see where we are if you look to the right compared to a year ago. And then the orange line at the bottom just goes back 4 years and shows where things, kind of what the trend has looked like over that period. And you'll see the orange line represents the days on market, so how long it's taken to sell homes. And that's been fairly flat. There's been a couple little changes in there, but nothing too much. And then the purple line on top shows what's happened with the price per foot, and that's been just a steady, pretty consistent upward trend. This is a great report. This is a home sales trend report, something, again, we developed. I don't even think anybody else produces a trend report like this, but it's good to see where things are headed. It helps give us, it's like a leading indicator if you want to talk in economist terms. But it kind of gives us a little look at where things are going, because each one of these dots, so every month we plot the prior 12-month sales. So instead of just getting the normal up and down gyrations you get with the seasonality of this business, it's looking at 12 months each time so we can see this trend. So you can see this overall trend over a 5-year period, going back to January 15 has been great. We really have seen a lot of increase. And then it kind of peaked about 2 years ago around November 17, and then it's just been fluttering around and then trending downward a little bit. Nothing too much to be concerned about here. This last, the past year, the trend's been down, but again, it came up a lot, so it's got to find the place where it can sustain, what level is going to be sustainable. Plus, you can see we've had this recent uptick, so we'll have to see where that goes. Here's something else you won't see anything anywhere else. It's our STL market reports. This is a great way to look at an overall market. You can do it by school district, zip code, county or city. We can pull these things for you. And again, it gives a 12-month comparison like that prior chart. So in the top line there on the right, I can see median sales prices, the red columns there. Median sales prices for the most recent 12-month period compared to the prior 12-month period. And then the blue columns on the left, sales, same thing. And you can see that for the year ended 2019, prices were up about 5.85% for the 5-county core market. Sales are down, like I said before, just a tad under 1%. And if we jump down to the bottom here, that bottom row, you can see there's a 2.35 month supply for this 5-county core market. Still very low. 5 or 6 months would be considered a balanced market. Wouldn't really favor buyers or sellers. When it gets down below that, it definitely favors sellers. It doesn't mean sellers can just charge whatever price they want. That doesn't work. Buyers are pretty savvy today, and if they're working with a more buyer's agent, they're very savvy because they know what houses are worth and they don't overpay. But 2.35 month supply is very low. Median time on the market for the homes that are listed currently is about 3 months. And speaking of supply, this is a table we produce that is always up to date, and it shows the month supply by county, and it has all the counties throughout the area. Then at the bottom, it's got a few combinations, like you can look at the St. Louis MSA, for example. But as you see, as you look down the right column there on the month supply, and remembering what I just said about that 5-6 months kind of balancing out, there are a couple of markets that are above that would even favor buyers, like Bond County and Calhoun County over in Illinois, maybe Clinton County. Clinton looks pretty balanced. Washington County is kind of around that balance part, but for the most part, in Macoupin, Illinois. So other than primarily some Illinois counties, and then Washington County. The rest of them are pretty much low inventory and favoring buyers. Now let me show you something about interest rates. Here's a chart that, now this is one we don't produce. Actually, this chart comes from the St. Louis Federal Reserve, and the data comes from Freddie Mac. But they do a survey of market rates, and you'll see what I put up there. The most recent survey, which was for January 16th, showed the average rate of a 30-year fixed rate loan nationally was 3.65%. And I also highlighted just a tad over a year ago, November 8th, from November 8th to about mid-November, that's kind of when the interest rates peaked recently at 4.94%. And I wanted to show something here, because you can see, over this past roughly 10-year period that I'm showing, you can see where we're at today. Is lower or about as low as it's been, with just a couple of exceptions. In that really horrible market we were in late 2012 and 13, rates got pretty low, and then late in 16 they got a little lower than they are now. But we're in a very good interest rate market. But I want to show you the impact of this, just this change over the past 13 months or whatever. Let's do some quick math. Basically, it gives you a lot more buying power. For example, back in November, if you'd have bought a median, November 18, if you'd have bought a median priced house, say about a $250,000 house, and financed it 100%, where I'm just doing no money down here, at the current rate, 4.94%, your payment would have been $1,333 a month, principal and interest. Today, if you were borrowing that same amount of money at the current rates, it'd be $1,143. So the payment today on the exact same amount of money would be $190 a month less than it would have been about 13 months ago. Now, to put this in a little different perspective, if you took that same payment, that $1,333 payment, that $250,000 loan would have cost you 13 months ago, that payment will cover a $291,000 loan today. So that's $41,000 more buying power. So the point is that same, a lot of people, you are focused on payments, and that's how we figure out what we can afford. So that same payment, 13 months later now, will buy you or allow you to borrow $41,000 more, which will allow you to buy more house. So let's just say you missed the boat. Maybe you thought you should have bought back in November and you didn't. I want to show you why you should buy right now if you're in a position to do it. Because let's just see what's happened over that 13 months. So that house that was $250 back in November 18 with a payment of $1,333, if we put the appreciation on it that we just saw that home prices have increased since that time, that $250 median price house would be about $265 today. So it's went up in price. So you might think you missed out a little bit. It's like, oh, prices have went up. But here's the good news, though. Yes, it went up in price, and I know I'm missing a zero there. However, the payment on that increased value of the home is only $1,212. So it is actually over $100 less today. So bottom line is, you can buy a house today that is the, again, same house you could have bought 13, 14 months ago or whatever, and even with the increase in price, you're still going to have a lower monthly cost for it on the payment than you would have then. That's the powerful impact of the interest rates. So there you go. Math is over. All right. Hey, before you go, remember, if you're looking for a home, or you're looking to sell and you want to see sold prices, whatever you want to see, or you just want a ton of great market data, go to St. Louis's best home search site, stlouisrealestatesearch.com, stlouisrealestatesearch.com, and we have real live people ready to help you. At the top is an 800 number. Yes, you can call, not talk to some call center who knows where, but you can actually connect with one of our masters of real estate agents right here in St. Louis. They can answer your questions. We also have live chat on the site. You can contact us that way, or connect with us through the site in a variety of ways. Also, if you want to find your home's value online or somebody else's in under a minute, go to stlouishouseprices.com, stlouishouseprices.com. Put in your address and go. We also just so happen to have St. Louis's favorite open house site, stlouisopenhouses.com, stlouisopenhouses.com. On this site, you'll see everything that's coming up this weekend that is going to be open, and you can search it a variety of ways. Also, something else that we have that no one else has is STL Open House Reports, stlopenhousereport.com. If you go there, We have open house reports, and we can create these custom for you and only show you the type of houses that you want to see, specific areas, price ranges, features, whatever. You can access them online. They'll always be live once we set it up for you once. You can just go there and it'll always be current and up to date. You can also print it out as a PDF, take it with you. It sorts it in order of when the open houses are coming up. So let's just quick example. Let's say you're looking for a 4-bedroom atrium ranch and it must have a 3-car garage, and you want to make sure that it's also got a main floor laundry room and a couple other things. We can actually set up this open house report specific for that, and maybe you've got a half a dozen areas you'll consider in a certain price range. We can set all that up, and then every time you go back and check that report, it'll be up to date and it'll show you what's coming up that meets that criteria that's going to be open. So there you go. Hey, there's our phone number, 833-383-MORE, or you can go to morerealtors.com, or of course connect with us on stlouisrealestatesearch.com. So thank you very much, and until next month, thank you and God bless you.